Hi, folks. Welcome to our virtual back to school night. So, this is on 8th grade seminar science with myself. I'm Miss Hackworth. And I like to start out with my personal philosophy for why I'm teaching, just so you kind of understand where I'm coming from. I'm incredibly passionate about teaching and learning science, and this is my 6th year teaching here at Sheridan Junior High School. My goal is to encourage all students to continue to be curious about the world around them, and in that, I hope my students are building the skills that they would need to tackle problems in the real world beyond just science, and also that they're curious to continue asking questions about the world around them because that's really the goal of science. And a tiny bit more about me. For those of you who don't know me already, I'm from Washington State. I earned a Bachelor of Science degree from Western Washington University. I worked for a few years. I worked for a biotech company. I worked for the Bureau of Land Management and for the Forest Service. And then I got an internship at Casper Mountain Science School and decided I really liked teaching. So I did my master's at Teton Science Schools and University of Wyoming. And like I said, I'm going into my 6th year here at the junior high. In my free time, I like to spend a lot of time outside. So that's a little bit about me and my background. This is what seminar looks like this year. So we start our year in astronomy. We'll be learning about the solar system and constellations. We'll move into some physics. We'll do 2 smaller units on sound waves and light waves. Move into more astrophysics, larger scale, thinking about the electromagnetic spectrum and exoplanets. And then we'll move into a biology unit, thinking about genetics and how genetics can change over time. And then we'll finish our year in physics with contact forces and collisions. We will be doing some version of a science symposium or genius hour where students have some choice in a project that they take on, and I'll fit 1 or 2 of those in the year where it makes sense. Here are some of the questions that we're going to be trying to figure out this year in science. So you can always pause here. I'm not going to read them all off. But everything that we'll be doing will be based around larger questions about the world around us. And I will also be bringing in some guest speakers, whether it's virtually or actually physically here in person, so that students can start to make connections to how these fit within different science and engineering career paths. And I kind of mentioned this, but I will be bringing in guest speakers. We will also be learning through listening to some podcasts and science articles and current events that are going on. And then most of you have very responsible students, but just making sure that they did find a good place at home to charge Chromebooks every night. And then grading, this should look very familiar. It is 4-3-2-1. The goal is for me to always get students to that proficient level or above. There will always be challenge opportunities for students on assessments where they can go for that level 4. These should be the grading criteria that you see reported out in Infinite Campus. These might change, but students' assessments make up 100% of their grade. If you have a kiddo who isn't happy with the score they earned, I will remind them of this, but they can always come in and work with me if they would like to retake, but that would be on their own time to retake any assessments. And if you ever have questions for me, please don't hesitate to reach out. The best way to get a hold of me is by email. However, you can always call me and just leave a message, and I'll be sure to get back to you that way as well. And thanks so much.